record. The lecture will be very short because of our time. I will try not to exceed 9 p.m. So I'm going to explain. Now, why do we need the call function, apply function, and the bind function? Most of the time, when you create a function, for example, sum, or no, let me use person, and I have a name, and I create a variable, say let's first name equal this n. That is all this function is doing. It's just initializing this first name. And maybe there's another function somewhere, function print. And all this function is doing is just to console.log um console.log n. Now, you can see that this person, this function, constructor person here, this function person does not have any functionality. What do I mean by functionality? I mean to do something like print. The only thing it can do is to initialize the first name. Now, how can I use the functionality of another function in this function? Let's say you don't have access, maybe programmer or the developer Max is the author of this function, and developer David is the author of this function. David does not have access to Max code, but David knows that Max actually developed a function that can print. So, and now, how can David now access the functionality of this function written by Max? That is where you can use call, even apply. Bind, we will talk about that one later. Now, what is the syntax of call? Most you will see this keyword here, then you can now see maybe the argument somewhere here. It can be multiple arguments depending on what you have configured or defined. Now, you know that a function is what? An object. So I can use this print, I can call this function. This is one of many ways we can call a function. If I should go back to the presentation, if let me see, calling function, I think I went through it, but I know I skipped some for this day. Calling function. This is function declaration, function definition, the parameters, function parameter, invocation. Yes, we have the basic form of function invocation, which is just using the operator, bracket operator, which is this one. This one is not an issue any longer. We can call a function through the event, which we are still going to do, right? Now, we can call, oh, if this is it. We can use a call method or function and they apply to actually call a function. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain in the on the notes earlier on. Now, I want you look at this guy, this person. This person is just doing what? Initializing the name property with the Alice value. And look at this function here. It's just printing it out, printing whatever is the argument here. Now, let's assume that another person wrote this function and another person, let me just create a space there just temporarily, and another person wrote this function, this object. And I need to access, where's my pen? I need to access this functionality. So the question is, how do I do it? So I need to call this function. And you know that the name of this function is greet. So all I need to do is call greet, not in the normal way of just calling, but rather I'm going to use the call method to call it. I will say greet.call, right? Now, which object is calling this greet? Okay, let me take your mind back to the this keyword. Remember in two classes away, I demonstrated that this depends on who is calling the function. The this can refer to the Windows object, and it can even refer to the object that is calling the function, right? For example, if in this person now I have const person, I'm going to use P equal this name, which is in this case Alice, right? Then I have a function here, a method, say print, and oh sorry, semicolon, and I assigned a function into it, anonymous function. That okay, this function is just to console.log name, just print name, right? Name, and I close the curly braces. Now I can use this object P to call this print. So if there's any days in this functionality here, the this here will refer to this object that is calling that print. I've explained this in the past class. But now we are not calling the function in the no in the basic way, right? So we need to give it a reference to that this, which you can see in the syntax here. You can see in the syntax here, right? The this argument. So what this is just saying is that which object or what is actually calling that function, this function, what is going to call it is this person. So I'm going to put person here, just like you are seeing here, right? Person. So this is the object calling this great, but you know that the great function is expecting what an argument, as you can see here. So you can now pass your argument, but in this case, it's just a single argument that I need. So all I need to do is just to pass my argument right here. Whatever argument is there, I pass it. So now let's go back to the board. So now I'm going to call this function now print dot call. Now, what object do I to want to which object should do I want to call this print? Is this person? So I'm going to put person right there, then pass in what the um parameter, which is maybe David, for example. David. So you do not need to have access to the functionality of another person's code. All you need to do is use that person function and to achieve your own goal. A very perfect example, I think, is a math. Okay, let me just quickly go so that I can show you a practical example of it. Okay. No. So let me use this one. Let me use my Visual Code. So let's say I have math dot max, right? Okay, let me do something. So and I have maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. So and I want to console log this. Let me see what I'm going to get from here. App. Not a number, console.log. I'm coming, let me confirm that. Okay, let me remove this array. See something. Yes, 5. Now you can see that out of these 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 is the maximum. Now, do not think probably because it is in ascending order. Let me put 10 here, and let me put something like 24 here in the middle. So it doesn't matter the arrangement, right? It will bring out the highest value in there. Now, but let's say you have an array of numbers, and in that array, I have these numbers. I'm going to cut it out and input it there. Now, in the array method, I don't think there is any method that you can use to fetch out. There's no function to fetch out the max value of this um of this function the max value out of this array of numbers. That is where the call method is important. Now, this is a function, this is a function on a math object which we do not have access to go and manipulate. All I need to do is just to remove the parentheses, then use a call to call that function max. Now, this we now expect what? An object. And we know that array is an object. If I pass this in there, I can tap into the functionality of this max function for me to bring out the maximum value here. Let me see, clear the screen and run my code. Oh, it's giving me infinity. Why is that? Let me see. Console.log math.call. Am I missing any braces? No. Okay, hold on. Let me remove this one first to be sure. Okay. Let me now console.log. No, 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 no. Console.log. Okay. Run it again. It's still giving me infinity. I do not know why that is so, but hold on. Let me see. Is there something I'm doing wrong? This is object. Okay, let me do something here. Let me just pass few arguments here. 2, 5, and 10. But that should not. Okay, so it's expecting my argument in there. So, but even I can still do null. Let me do null. Then I will still pass the argument right there. I can pass the argument right there, and it should give me 24. Yes. Now, where this is, I want you to listen carefully. This is where the call and the apply is different. You can see that the call accepts numbers. It does not accept an array. But if I use the apply, that receives array. So I can pass in this array right there instead of numbers. Let me clear the screen and run the code again. Yes, so you can see 24. So Let me repeat. The call method does not accept arrays, as in array objects. It accepts the values of whatever numbers that we want to determine the mark, as in this case, or whatever functionality that we want to achieve. But if you know you want to pass in an array, you use the apply instead of the call method. I think it should be in that. Let me go back to the screen, to the yes, you can see now exactly. This is an array. You can see this does not accept an array, right? Aha. But the arguments are passed as an array when we are talking about the apply. That is a major difference between the call and the apply. So now in this in this our example, let me go back to the yes to this. Let's say I have a function called person. What's the time, please? So that I will not, okay, 4 minutes. Let me quickly rush this. Person name, then let's say I have first first name assigning to n, assign n to it. Okay, now I have another function. Is there any question in what I've discussed so far? Is there any question, David?
No,
David.
sir.
Okay, thank you, Ademola. David, is there any question?
No, sir.
Mary, is there any question? Is there any question, Mary? Joshua, is there any question?
No, sir.
Always, as usual. No, sir. Feromi, is there any question? Feromi, is there any question? Okay, Mary has disconnected. Okay. All right. So now, as this one should not be strange to you. Is there anyone this is strange? I declare I declare a function here, and I'm calling it here with the argument name. And now I am able to print out the argument. Is there anyone who is having difficulty here regarding this?
No, sir.
Okay. So now,
No, sir.
okay, now let me try to see to use the call method to call it. If I run it, let's see whether something will happen there. Nothing. It's undefined because I did not pass anything. Let's pass this person here and run. It's still undefined. Can someone tell me why that is so?
Because there's no value
Oh,
in
there's no value. So let's see Joshua here. So you can see that I am able to use this functionality, right?
So you mentioned my name. I just went to pull up.
Yes, I mentioned your name because I'm using it as an example here.
Oh, I'm full.
So that means you are not following.
No, sir, I just told you I just went to toilet.
Oh, okay. So you can see that I am able to use this functionality to print out the first name of this person. If I can even just remove this guy. No, I'm not passing anything there. But because this is what a parameter into this, it will still give me that Josh. Let me try something. Let's say I have a person and I'm giving it a value of Mary. Let's see what this will give us. Undefined. So the call is still expecting the parameter to be passed in there. Is there any question?
No, sir.
There's no question. Okay. So because of our time, it's 9 o'clock on the dot. I'm going to stop here tonight. We will continue with this to binding. Yes, I've discussed the call. I've discussed the what the apply. The major difference between the call and the apply is what is that apply accepts what's it called? Accept an array as parameter, unlike the call counterpart. We are going to discuss bind in the next class. Then after that, we now go into event. Event. So once I complete the event, like I told you, then we will start integrating HTML, CSS, and JavaScript together. Any assignment I give, I want you to create an HTML structure, the presentation, which is the CSS, and the behavior, which is the JavaScript. You integrate the three together and come up with an app for me. So my assignment will not be on this, because this is just fresh. My assignment is on callbacks. We have treated callbacks in the past. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So my assignment, I want you to write an higher order function, which receives the following parameters. One, a number. Two, a number. Three, a callback function. Four, another callback function. And five, another callback function. I repeat, write an higher order function which receives the following parameters, or let me say the following five parameters. Following 5 parameters. A number and a number, a callback function, and a callback function. This callback function should calculate the addition of these two numbers. Add these two numbers. Add, okay, let me call this num1, num1, num2, num2. So add num one plus num2. This one, do product of num1 and num2. This one, do the division of num1 and num2. I repeat, this callback must be the one, the first callback here must be the one that will do the addition of these two numbers. The second callback must do the product of these two numbers. Then the last callback will do the division of this numbers, which means that is just do num1 divide by num2, right? So I want something, this higher, whatever you want to call it your name, but I'm going to use HO to represent mine here. What I want to see is function HO num1, num2, callback, and callback. I'm going into this detail so that you understand what but I will not talk about what is going to happen here. All I want is when I run this code, I want to see this output. This is the output, expected output. Expected output. This is what I want to see. I want to see this. The sum product and division of dash and dash. I'm referring to these numbers, yeah. Whatever value that is passed there, I want to see the value here, The sum, product, and division of these two numbers are column. Then whatever the answer, this, which is the sum value here, I want the sum value here, the product value here, product value, sum value, and the division value, respectively. So write an higher order function which receive the following 5 parameters: a number one, number 2, then the three callbacks, like as you can see here. Then write your code. Then write you know already that you are going to write code for this callback. You are going to write code for this callback. You are going to write code for this callback. If you are having problem with callbacks, go back to the recording, review it, review the recording on callbacks, then write your code here and or any other code. It is not this one that you are going to write. I only use this one to demonstrate what I'm expecting as parameter for this higher order function. You can give it whatever name, maybe calculate, whatever name of your choice. You can give it any name of your choice. But I'm stressing it. This callback must be the one to do the addition, not this one doing the addition. This higher order should not do the addition. This callback must do the addition. This callback must do the multiplication. And this other callback must be the one doing the division. Then it is this, excuse me, and a higher order function that we now call this. You see, I've already started talking about the implementation. All I want is just this output. This output. That is all I want. So review the recording on that and do the assignment. Today is Tuesday. You have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because we have our class is in the evening of Saturday. 4 days to do this assignment. Is there any question on this assignment? Is there any question on this assignment?
No, sir.
Not really, sir. No.
Okay. Joshua, is there any
Sir,
question?
but please help us upload this video on YouTube so that we can quickly watch
Okay,
the
you mean
video
this
in case
one?
we have any issue.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
I will share this recording with doctor. The doctor will share
Oh,
it.
thank you, sir.
But I'm snipping this assignment. I'm going to share it on the general WhatsApp group. So I'm doing that
Okay, sir.
right now
Okay, sir.
so that I won't forget.
Thank you, sir.
So is there any question, Joshua, on the assignment? Joshua, is there any question?
No.
No. Okay, it is well understood. Fair on me, is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay, who else do I have in there? Okay, Ademola has answered, no question. So I think I'm good to go tonight. So see you on Saturday by God's grace. Thank you.